what to see, what to stream, and what to skip. It's Movie Reviews with Ryan J.
That's right. We are back with the nationally syndicated and holiday movie junkie. Just like me, it's Ryan J.
It's so true, Tiff. You know it.
Good to see you this morning.
You too.
It's Halloween, or it's Thanksgiving week, so happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you so much. One of my favorite holidays.
I know, and that's why we have you on early this week, which I love. So let's break down some movies that are coming out for people to watch this holiday weekend. The first one being Uncle Frank. This is rated R, and this is on Amazon Prime.
Right, and as for most holiday weeks like Christmas, Thanksgiving, the movies open today. So they're open on the Wednesday of the holiday week. So Uncle Frank is fantastic. It is written and directed by Alan Ball, who of course won the Oscar for writing the screenplay to American Beauty. He also wrote and directed Towelhead, one of my favorite films. And this is a beautiful film. It's a gunkle movie, which is great because it applies to me, right? It's about a niece who finds out that she has an uncle who is gay and he's closeted, and it takes place in the 70s.
Okay, so you watched this with your parents, didn't you?
I did, and funny about that, at the end of the movie, my mom was like, wow, it was really interesting that it was so difficult for people to come out in the 70s and the 80s. And I was like, Mom, hi, I came out to you in 1997. We lived through this together. You're telling me it was difficult to come out in the 70s and 80s?
For sure, and I think that it's an important thing. What's the emotional range of this? Because I would think that this would have a lot of different energies.
You feel everything that these characters go through. Paul Bettany is so beautiful in this role, and he ends up getting outed to his family at a very difficult time in the 70s, the small town homophobia and everything that goes on. I actually got to speak with him and the director and some of the other cast about it. Take a look. I think of a movie like with a gay character like Love, Simon, and wonder how that might have really changed my life had I seen that in high school. But I think for the current generation that sees Uncle Frank, there's got to be a takeaway too. What might that be?
Maybe it's just realizing how far we've come. Sometimes people ask me, why did you set it in the 70s? And it's because, well, you had to set it at a time when somebody would feel such shame about being who they are that they would live in secret the way that Frank does, at least at the beginning of the movie.
My father was a closeted gay man who came out at 63 and ended up, then had a 20-year relationship with a man called Andy. And Andy died, and my father went back in the closet because he was a Catholic and felt a huge degree of shame regarding his sexuality. Being raised by a man with such a big secret and with such shame regarding his own sexuality has cost. And for me, I was imagining, what if my father had got right with himself? And what if my father had been able to accept who he was? And so I had something that I felt like I could contribute.
Well, that one's wrapped up so nice, it must be from Frank.
The beautiful performance of Paul. I mean, he was so vulnerable and so open, and without that performance, I don't think you have this tenderness and strength in this story.
Wow, I can imagine how much that meant.
You can't really tell from that clip that I showed and the interview, but it is such a funny movie. I laughed out loud so many times. It's like a dramedy. So there's so much great family drama that anyone can relate to regardless. And it's also super funny, and it's streaming now on Amazon Prime Video.
Love it. So that's a see it.
Yes, stream it.
All right, stream it. Your next one, Hillbilly Elegy, and this is rated R on Netflix.
Right. This is based on a memoir written by J.D. Vance, and it's directed by Ron Howard. And it's basically about a man who grows up in a very poor community and he goes to Yale and has this real big culture clash. Okay, so who's in this? Well, Glenn Close is getting a lot of buzz for this movie. She plays the mother, and she is practically unrecognizable in this.
Oh, wow.
She does a better curmudgeon than Clint Eastwood did in Gran Torino, so she's getting a lot of Oscar buzz. Amy Adams also plays the mom. She's got great range in this.
Okay, so what did you say the theme is for this?
Well, it's really about, generations of pain and how family dysfunction travels through and without. But I was really surprised for all the star power in this, how boring it was. At the end of the film, I really felt like, why was this even adapted to a film? So I'm going to say skip it. It's on Netflix today, but I don't think it's an enjoyable view. I mean, some of the performances are outstanding, but there's much better to see right now. Like you said yesterday, The Queen's Gambit. Yeah, which is phenomenal and it broke some records on Netflix. Okay, that's good to know. I like it when you give us the skip it mode. All right, the next one is Happiest Season. This is on Hulu. Right, just last Sunday on Hallmark Channel, they did the first ever Christmas movie with a gay couple, and they were sort of part of an ensemble, and it was amazing, and I had happy tears. But now Hulu, this is the first mainstream Christmas movie to feature a gay couple. It's written and directed by actress Clea Duvall, and it stars Kristen Stewart in one of her first lesbian roles after coming out as gay. So it's really exciting, and she is so authentic, and it's so great to see her in this role.
Love it. Oh, and there's Daniel Levy.
Yes, from Schitt's Creek, and he is so funny in this. He plays a very similar role to David in Schitt's Creek, and you will laugh so much. He and Mary Steenburgen, who plays the wife. It's another coming out story because Kristen's character is out, but she's dating her girlfriend. They're going home for the holidays, and their girlfriend's closeted, so she pretends she's a roommate. Stream it now on Hulu. It's so funny.
I want to see it. Okay, we have like 20 seconds left. What do you want to say about Hallmark?
Hallmark Channel this Sunday night. The 29th. It's the first ever Wizard of Oz themed Christmas movie, If I Only Had Christmas, starring Candace Cameron Bure as Darcy Gale. My favorite Hallmark Channel movie ever. I got to see in advance. There's so many Wizard of Oz references in this movie. I lost count. It's like a classic Hollywood rom-com from the 80s and 90s. See it on Hallmark this Sunday, November 29th at 7 p.m.
Love it. Good to see you, Ryan. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thanks so much. You too.
Absolutely. You can like Ryan J on Facebook, follow him on Instagram and Twitter. And for his full movie reviews, you have to go to his website, ryanjreviews.com.